Alright, Hasbro, you shut me up real fast. Alright, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So I know that my TFCon video was supposed to come out today, but I actually wanted to talk about the Age of the Prime figures. Now, I do want to let y'all know that I do have Red Alert. Ignore the glare. I do have Red Alert. I just haven't opened them yet. I just wanted to take a look at these three. So I realized that nobody's really talked about
SLINGSHOT
yet, so I wanted to talk about him because I know a few people have been asking me to talk about him because nobody's talked about
SLINGSHOT
yet. So I wanted to do that, and I kind of wanted to throw in the others. And this is more just specifically what I think of the line so far, while talking about each figure and talk about some cool things that they do. So let's hop right into it. Apologies for the different background. I am revamping my normal background, so that's why it's been different these past few videos. So once we get the normal background back, it's going to look awesome. But for now, we're just going to stick with the black background. Plus, I think it works better in contrasting with the white. Anyways, SOLUIS Prime here is an excellent looking figure. I think we all were pretty surprised when we saw this figure because, first of all, yeah, she looks good from front to back. No kibble whatsoever. And I think that's kind of where people are like, well, hold on a second. How does the alt mode look like that? And we'll talk about it when we get to it. But she does some really clever things. This thing is very, very thought through. There's a lot of things that they didn't have to do, but they did. One example of this is the ball jointed wrists. Now normally, and you'll see this with figures like SLINGSHOT, sorry. Figures like, oh, I called him Fireflight at the beginning. I just realized that. Figures like SLINGSHOT only have normal wrists, but SOLUIS here is on a ball joint, so we can get wrist action. We got this in, so that actually allows us to pose the hammer a lot better, which is amazing. That makes her so much more dynamic. Speaking of being dynamic, she also has, if you untab this, most people have it like this from what I've seen, so that you can easily access the butterfly joint. Yeah, I think that's so cool how they just have random specialty joints in this figure. One thing that I do think is a limiting factor of this toy is the front skirt. It is separately segmented, but obviously I think we can agree that this doesn't look the best. That's probably my biggest flaw with this figure. Now, let me talk about what I was getting at the beginning of the video. So, how does this figure feel? When I first opened up this figure and picked it up, I was surprised by how solid it was. The joints don't move when you don't want them to, as you can see. I'm not like vigorously shaking this thing, but nobody is. So the joints hold up well. They're not too loose. They're not too tight. So that's awesome. Another cool thing that they threw in was this grenade here. If you didn't know, you can take off this purple piece here and just plug it in, and she's got a little grenade with her hammer. I think that's really cool. Very ingenuitive. It's just really cool. Like I said, it's very thought through. The way they did these things is very thought through. I honestly really love her design. I think it's great. I think they smashed it out of the park with this figure, especially in robot mode. But let's check out some size comparisons. Here she is with the GoBots Pathfinder. I believe this is Pathfinder. He's available on my eBay page. If you want the GoBots, check out my eBay page. I will be listing these up for sale. And here she is with the gargantuan Nova Prime. So cool to see these two next to each other. I love this so much. I think it's awesome. They look great together, but they will not be on the same shelf together, I don't think. Here she is next to the Legacy Vector Prime. I think this scale is pretty decent, all things considered. And just as a random size comparison, here she is next to the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Leadfoot. So next, I wanted to talk about Air Raid. I can get this one's name right. Air Raid is probably the heftiest of the bunch. He's definitely the best robot mode when we're comparing the two aerial bots. SLINGSHOT here, not Fireflight. Yeah, I really like it. I think his head sculpt is phenomenal. I think it looks amazing. I love the way the robot mode looks. I think the jet kibble actually looks cool. I think this is the one instance where I think the jet kibble looks cool. I dig the way the aerial bots treat the kibble, especially like this. I think it looks great. Maybe a little better than him, but we'll get into that there in a second. I love his double barrel guns. I think one of my chat members said it looked like a sawed-off shotgun. I completely agree. And I just love the details on this dude. I just think he looks great. Now, his articulation is actually really cool too. He's got an amazing up tilt on that head. I think, especially with SOLUIS too, SOLUIS had a really good up joint. Like, I don't know what's up with these Age of the Prime figures and that, but it's pretty crazy. And he's just got some pretty solid articulation, man. He's got toe up as well. It's just really, really good. I was thoroughly impressed by, again, how solid and hefty this figure is. It is definitely one of the nicest plastics I've felt in a while. He just feels great to handle, and that's not something I can say for a lot of the past deluxes. Like, pretend this is Cosmos, but this is so much heavier than this. It feels like this feels so much more premium than this. I can't describe it until you get this in hand, and then you'll understand. Dragstrip was the only one that I grabbed from the Menasor set, so he'll be the only Stunticon that I'll be comparing the two with. But I gotta say, dude, if they didn't do what they did with Menasor and make like Dragstrip and Motormaster the only good ones, Superion's going to be a very, very good set, because this Dragstrip was an amazing start to the set, and of course it started to fade a little bit, but hopefully if we can get figures like this at the start, I think we've got something special here with Superion. Here he is as well with Leadfoot. Again, I'm just going to do some of the same figures that I compared, just so you get an idea of how everything looks with everything. Here he is with Nova Prime, who is still as massive as before. And here he is with Vector Prime. So, again, a decent sized deluxe. Nothing too remarkable, but again, he gets the job done. So now let's get to what you guys have all been waiting for. Firefight. Just kidding, it's Slingshot. I remember you guys are probably going to be flaming me for that in the comments, but it's alright. I absolutely dig this dude's head sculpt, but it's kind of confusing because I don't really see his Autobot logo anywhere in his robot mode. I feel like they probably could have snuck that there on the chest, but I don't know. You guys let me know if that's G1 accurate or not. But the front side of his robot mode looks great. It looks just like that G1 cartoon. And yeah, it's a little bit updated, sure, but I think that's what we needed. Now, as soon as you turn them to the side, that's where I kind of have an issue. I think this is way too wide of a foot and way too long of a wing. They could have easily compressed this with one simple hinge here. I don't think anybody would have been against that. But what's kind of crazy is you can drop him from anywhere. And this dude, oh, he almost stood. Let's see. Okay. Not super high, but you can definitely drop him from a solid distance, and he's still standing up. Again, look how massive his feet are. I love his double barrel guns. I think those look really cool. You can also mount those to the side of his arms if that's what you like to do. I think that looks pretty cool, but I prefer to have him just wielding them like that. I actually like how the nose cone looks on the back. Like I said, I think the way that Air Raid handles his kibble is definitely a lot better and more pleasing to the eye, because it feels like there's an equal distribution, whereas there's just so much more down here than there is up here. So yeah, but either way, I still like them. My biggest issue with the robot mode, actually despite the kibble, is the hot rod shoulders. These were unnecessary. We literally proved that we didn't need them with Air Raid. Now, I think the one thing that you could say is, hey Solaris, yeah, he uses this during transformation, but that doesn't matter, because other things have done that without the need of hot rod shoulders. So why him? I don't know. So the first step you're going to want to do is spin that head around. After you tilt the head around, you want to fold these in and around like that. Then remember those hot rod shoulders? those are going to shift up. Then that's going to allow you to bring this up. And so there's these little slots here, and there's these tabs. So everything's going to go into place. So here and here, tab that in, and tab that in, and then here and here, and if I can just get it, boom, there we go. So once you get that done, you want to come down here to the legs, fold the wings down, fold these pieces down, fold these up. Then you're gonna Combiner Wars these legs. So don't know what Combiner Wars is in. Combiner Warsing, I don't know what you would call that, but we're just gonna Combiner Wars these. If you don't know what the process of doing a Combiner Wars is, then you need to go do your research. But yeah, you're just gonna connect those, bring them up. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then you're gonna take these and collapse them back in. Very basic. And if you want the landing gear, just flip it out. So you're gonna see this little thing right here. There we go. So that's how you do it. And there you have Slingshot in his jet mode. Alright, so I've got them all in alt mode now. Forgive me, I was not able to get the landing gear on air raid to show itself for the life of me. Like, I tried everything. So I'm sorry about that. He's just gonna have to be nose down, I guess. But all these alt modes actually look pretty good from the top. Air raid, unfortunately, has got a little bit of junk in the trunk, which stinks. I'm not super bothered by it, although I feel like there's going to be an upgrade kit eventually that's going to fix that, although these are pinned on, so I don't really know how they're going to do that. So we'll have to see what DNA design or, you know, the upgrade companies decide to do. But either way, I'm happy with all of these alt modes, to be honest with you. I think they really stepped it up. They shut me up, man. I think Fireflight's alt mode, see, here I go again. Slingshot's alt mode is the best. Out of all of these, it's the most cohesive. It looks the nicest. It kind of looks a little chibi, but yeah, I like it. I think Slingshot rules. So I forgot to actually mention this in the video, but he does do the splitting thing. No, it doesn't work on Metasaur's frame. So I tried that, it doesn't work, but that's how it looks, so there you go. I like this figure a lot. Yeah, he's got a few issues, but I think he's great. I think he does a lot of cool stuff, so I think he's definitely worth the pickup, especially if you're, you know, getting Superion. You kind of have to pick him up. So will you be reluctant to buy this thing if you're collecting Superion? Absolutely not. I think he's cool. I think he's got some awesome details. I think he's got a fun transformation, cool robot mode, and amazing alt mode. So what more do you want? I don't know. And SOLUIS is great too. Like I said, here's the alt mode. It's kind of crazy. She uses what panels and parts that she has on her robot mode extremely well. It's very efficient the way that it works. It reminds me of how animated figures use those panels and those interesting design aspects to its advantage. And I think that's what SOLUIS did here. If they do this for the rest of the primes, like, I'm super excited to get Prima. So hopefully Prima follows this same sort of tactic in how they work as figures. So I'm really excited for Prima. And of course, Red Alert. Subscribe if you want to see that unboxing. But yeah, dude, Hasbro shut me up. If you've seen my video, if Hasbro is failing, if there's anything that can save them for me, it's this. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're, you know, doing a good start, or are we kind of still shaky? Let me know down in the comments, but I appreciate you guys for watching till the end. If you did watch until the end, comment strip drag. Why? Because drag strip but backwards. So I know it was definitely you. Anyways, that's all that I have for you today. Thanks for watching. TFCon video on Saturday. Get hyped. But that's all from me. Thanks guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.
That being said, Solaris